Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome here to What's New on the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here to do an album that came out in 2025. And that album today is the band Soft Ffog. The album is called Focus. It's an all-instrumental band. Basically a jazz fusion, maybe a prog band. It's got a little bit of all those elements to their music. Pretty strong. It's a pretty strong album, and the production is fantastic on it. Anyways, it was released. May the 2nd, 2025. It's about 36 minutes or 37 minutes in length. It's on the Is It Jazz label. Production by Christian Engelfeld, I believe, Tom Haslin, and Soft Ffog themselves. So playing on the album, Tom Haslin on all guitars, Alex Skalstad on drums, Trod Freunds on bass, Vengard Leon Bergkin on keyboards. I'm sorry if I bastarded anybody's name up there. Wasn't intentional. So there are 4 tracks. Of course, no vocals on the album. It's all instrumental. Pretty common for this type of music too. The 4 tracks are, the first one's called Camel, then Focus, and then another Focus. 2 tracks with the same name. Yeah, okay. That's good. And if that's what they wanted to, I'm not arguing. And Oh Jimmy, spelled Jimi. So perhaps these are bands they like that kind of, they wanted to do some kind of a homage to. I'm assuming that's what it is. Anyways, lot of jazz on this album. I'd say a good chunk of it is jazz. There is a jazz fusion element here. Maybe it's about a third too. And you get some prog stuff on here. I don't think the prog is predominant as the jazz and the jazz fusion though. The instrumentation is bad. It's just like off the charts, like some really, really strong stuff here. If you like jazz or jazz fusion, you're going to love this album. Production is really good, really clean sounding. The guitar is very forward in the mix. The bass, not so much. It has its moments, but basically the guitar is the dominant instrument. Some really good keyboard parts, though, throughout the album. The drums at times, maybe not as forward as it should be. It's really solid, all over the place. Got a real strong jazz feel to it. So we'll talk about the tracks a little bit individually. So Camel, which is the first track, very jazz feeling here, very jazz opening. Like I said, very strong forward guitar. The soloing is absolutely good. Really, some really good bits in here as well. I'd say it's very clear, great production, but that's going to find that on the entire album. The drums and other instrumentation are absolutely at the top shelf. Just really dominating guitar. There's some nice keyboard complementary parts here too, but the keyboard not as dominant on this particular track, but growing stronger as we go along. The second track, Focus, the first Focus. Heavy start, up instrumentation, very fantastic. The guitar parts, fast, very top shelf sounding. Catchy guitar and bass riff go on throughout this particular track as well. I would say the instrumentation on this song is absolutely incredible. Like there's just some really top shelf stuff going on here. I think this song is pretty much dominated by that kind of jazzy feel. Just a real jazzy feeling song. The guitar is really good. He's just flying around here with it. The next Focus, the second Focus, it's got a nice catchy riff, kind of a it's got this kind of a Zappa-like feel to it at the beginning. I'm not a huge Zappa fan, so I haven't followed him that much, but I hear a little bit of that here. It's got a slow down, jazzy feel. So the song slows down at some point during, and it gives it more of a jazzy feel. The guitar is like amazing. Piano and keyboard part at the back half, very forward, very strong. Lots of keyboard here. This is probably the most dominant keyboard track on the album. And then the final track, Oh Jimmy, which is the longest track. All the tracks here are over 8 minutes, and this one's the longest at about 10 minutes and 18 seconds. Keyboard opening, very heavy guitar sounding. I don't think it's a Hendrix sound, but I get it. They wanted to do an ode to Jimmy, so they made the song a lot heavier. The drums are a little more dominant on this track, probably the most forward track on the album for the drums. A very catchy riff sound going on, and very complex instrumentation, lots of stuff going on. The soloing on this particular track is outstanding as it is on the other three, but I think it's more so on this one. And there's a little bit of that distortion and riffing going on from the guitar. And, obviously it's called Oh Jimmy, so they want to give it a little bit of an Oh abode. So the two tracks I like the most, Oh Jimmy and Camel, but the other two I liked. Both the Focus ones were good as well. Sorry, I just felt like I was too far away from the camera there. Anyways, pretty good album. I'm not a huge jazz fan. I do have some jazz albums. Every once in a while I feel like some jazz, but I wouldn't call myself a jazz fan by any stretch. Jazz fusion, I'm a little bit more of a jazz fusion. Once it crosses into prog, they kind of win me over, but I also don't really care much for instrumentation, like entire instrumental albums, but in this case, this is really good. Would have been nice to have some lyrics, but that's not what you get with this type of music. So, but a really good album. Like I said, if you like heavy jazz or really complex instrumentation or jazz fusion or really strong guitar playing, you're going to like this album a lot. And like I said, the sound is really good. So anyways, that's it for today's episode for What's New and the album Soft Ffog. Well, the album isn't Soft Ffog. The album is called Focus. The band is called Soft Ffog. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please hit the like and subscribe. Sorry, tangle my words up there. If you want to leave any comments in the comment section below on this band or the album or anything I've said, you can do that as well. And we will see you next week with another episode of What's New. Take care and have yourself a good evening. Goodbye.